Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. We're going to do a little bit of a trash craft today. It's going to be a trash craft Thursday. I didn't get a trash craft Tuesday video up, you know, just Christmas, all those things. So I really need to get this done though, so I thought, well, why not throw it up on a Thursday instead? So this little journal cover here I made in a previous trash craft video. It's made out of a really long envelope which I collaged up with various bits of wrapping paper. And so we've got a pocket here, which is the open end of the envelope, and then it's kind of a little wraparound number. So what I want to do is I want to fill it with pages today, and I want it to be very junky, because I'm thinking I'm going to do Junk Journal January with megjournals, and I'm thinking of perhaps interpreting it in a more art journal style this year. It's been a while since I've done a junk journal month, and when I first started doing junk journal challenges, I did do it more of an art journal style, and I'm thinking I need a bit of freshness in my journaling. I've really fallen over it in the last few months. I was super keen for December days, which I run in my Facebook group, and then I just crashed. I literally just crashed, and so I didn't fulfill what I wanted to get done. And I'm thinking I just need to mix things up a bit. So maybe if I have just a bit more of a play kind of journaling month for January. That's my plan. So I have grabbed out 16 bits of paper, and I'm very distracted right now because Puss is playing with my papers to my right. Puss, no, he's just stolen my pen. Okay, I'm going to pop you on pause and sort out my 14-year-old naughty boy. I'll be right back. Right, I wouldn't have minded if it was just an ordinary pen, but Puss stole my water pen, and if he actually punctured it with his teeth, then it's basically dead, like, because it won't hold water. So it was like, no, we can't be having that. It's my favourite water pen. No. So anyway, oh, the distractions. Fabulous. So as I think I was saying, I've grabbed out 16 bits of paper, and all just like trash. So first one here is just a page out of a magazine, and I'm going to have to be doing a bit of cutting down to size because it's not a standard size journal, as you can possibly tell. So like this A4 size piece of paper that I'm folding in half is not going to fit. Oh, Puss! Can you hear that? He's now attacking a plastic bag that our presents are still sitting in from Christmas, from when we brought them home. What a racket! This is turning into an interesting video. Let me pop you the video on pause while I sort out my 14-year-old nincompoop again. So let's see how long the piece lasts. He's now playing with a cat toy. Hopefully that's it. But goodness, Puss, our oldest one, just being totally crazy. So we are looking at half wide. So this is, it is probably about 5.5 inches. So we don't want to do 5.5 inch pages. Maybe if we bring it back just to the edge of this here, where the markings are, might be about right. So let's start with that and see how we go. So just line, it's a nice line to line up on, so that's why I'm thinking it might just be an easy way. Oops. So yes, I do apologize for all the interruptions. Puss has just chosen the exact wrong moment to be nuts. But it's also cute because he's like 14 and he's being like a kitten. So height-wise, what do we want to be? So we need to go this way, don't we? So that's not going to work for measuring because we're off my little guillotine here. So how are we going to do this? maybe like that. So we want to go a bit shorter, we don't want to go top to bottom. So I think just random kind of working it out as we go along, I think might be the jam today. So I'm going to end up with throwaway scraps, or some throwaway scraps. So yeah, so I want different sized pages. I don't want them to be all the same. I'll go through what sort of papers I've grabbed out. This is a book page, the index from an encyclopedia, a nature encyclopedia that I've already harvested a lot of pictures out of, and I haven't thrown it away because, like, the stuff that's left. Puss, would you settle down, please? He's now attacking the carpet. Oh my goodness. Because there's still, you know, usable pages, and it's quite thick paper, so it's like I've kept it because I can totally still use. Now I'm just guessing at the height there. It's a bit shorter, but the width is fine, so that's all good. Actually, those would be good collage scraps with that tiny text on, so let's pop that in my text bag. And I've got also a second page from that same encyclopedia. So I think it's the only double up, I think the only double up I've got of page type. So we can go a bit taller than this one. Let's go try that there. That one can get thrown away. So in front of our fire there's a little carpet like sample piece that's just sits in front of the fire, and he's lately taken to just attacking it. I don't know why. He never used to. It used to be his younger sister's thing that she would do, but he's just he's attacking it, and he drags it round the floor and has one paw underneath it and one on top, and it's like he's hugging it, but he's also scratching it, and he's just a silly Billy. And yeah, puss, silly Billy. We often call him a nincompoopus because he is a bit of a nincompoopus. Right, so here I have a brown pharmacy bag. We're going to keep that bit because, you know, that's usable brown paper there. And this can just fold in half. So I don't know whether I'm going to chop it open and have it open there. I think I'll decide that. Now he's racing up and down the hallway. It's raining today, so I think he's just got to, like, he'd be outside normally playing, but because it's raining, he's inside. So we've got a pocket here if we want to use it as a pocket, and I could open this or at the top, but we can decide that as I'm working in it. So here I have a pattern piece from inside a magazine. So I think I'll have to cut it this way first, because otherwise it won't fit in my chopper, my guillotine. I got a big guillotine for Christmas, but I haven't put it together yet. It came with a screwdriver and some screws, and so I've got to put attach a piece on. I haven't done it yet, so it's also not one I'll be using on my desktop during videos because it's big. It's an A3 guillotine, but I will definitely show it once I've got it together. I will show it and demonstrate, give it a wee demo, because I haven't actually used it yet, of course, because I've got to put it together first. But if I did, like, cutting these pages would be no problem whatsoever. But I wouldn't be doing it on camera either. Right, so here we have an advertising supplement from one of our local little newspapers. Just so it fits in my wee guillotine, I'm actually going to fold it in half, so I can kind of get do the chopping without too much mucking around. Now it is torn there, but that's okay. I can work with torn I'll just cover it over in the process of doing a junk journal spread. Now I'm planning this for 31 days for a double page spread for each day. I don't know if I'm actually going to do double page spreads. If I don't, that's fine. I can just either use it for another month or just, you know, use what I use and leave the rest. It doesn't really matter. It's just a junky wee journal, isn't it? It doesn't have to be full. It also depends on how crazy I get with, you know, how thick it gets. I might not want to fill it up with everything if it gets too thick, too chunky, which is entirely possible. Right, a scrap of scrapbook paper, which is probably the best thing that I've got that's going in, but it's a scrap. Like, I don't need all these scraps. I need to use up some of my scraps, so why not just throw it in? And it's not cut straight, so in this one maybe I'll just fold in this edge so we can have a little interactive bit, or we can chop it off. Gosh, it's so wonkily cut. Nothing straight. Never mind, it's junk. Here's an offcut of wallpaper. So I don't need to trim the height. And again, it is not straight in any shape or form of the imagination. It is horribly wonky. But because this is thick wallpaper, I'm not going to do a flip. I'm just going to chop it off. I might do it slightly wider on the back side, so one side's shorter than the other, so that's fun. This is, actually this is the other double up I've got. Pages out of a Microsoft instruction manual. Yeah, super boring. I don't even know where it came from, to be honest. It's just like, it's here. How tall? We don't want to do all super short. We do want to make sure we've got some taller ones. Let's go about there. But it's like, I came across it the other day in a bag, and it was like, I need to grab that out and be using that for collaging, or, you know, whatever. Need to be using it because it's paper. You know, I love paper. Paper's the good stuff. So I have a second page of that, which is fine. Give that one the same basic height, I think. About there. I could do folding flips on this one as well, but I'm not going to. I'm choosing not to. I'm just putting all my rubbish aside so I can go back through it later and choose what I'm actually going to throw out or not, what's salvageable. This is from a 2017 calendar, and it's got no image on it, so I thought, well, that's definitely trash because I saved them for the images, the old calendars, but this has no images, so we're just going to make it a base for our journal. So, do I want the torn edge? Doesn't matter, does it? Let's keep the torn edge in. Straight torn edge. It's not a higgledy-piggledy torn edge. That's all good. So I've tried to go with boring papers that, you know, I wouldn't use for much else unless it was a base for something. I do have another double up. I've got two of these pages, which are out of a quilting book, a very old quilting book, very dated, but actually not boring pages. They've got colour, but they are only a base. I don't think I would use them any other way, so put a couple of those in. All different paper types, like the calendar page and these book pages are a bit shiny, and then I've got others like the Microsoft book that's matte paper. Just using whatever paper I've got. that I don't have any other use for really. So I probably need to trim that. Yes, I definitely need to trim that down a bit. Just a little bit off the edge. I probably should mess make in terms of like just doing all the folding then all the cutting, but we're almost there, so we'll just keep going as we are. I had intended to do more of a mess make style, but there we go. What I intended and what I ended up doing were two totally different things. So let's have a wee chat about you guys. How are you going? Did you have a lovely Christmas? How are you feeling after Christmas? You all food overloaded, or were you restrained and just had a, you know, just lovely food but not too much of it? It's very easy to eat too much, isn't it, at Christmas? And it's crazy. Like, why do we do it to ourselves? Because it doesn't make us feel very good. So this is a bit of photocopy paper, and it was a test print. That good thing it was a test print, because it printed out the wrong orientation. So it literally is waste trash. So I'm using it in my journal, my trashy journal. This is cute. I could use this totally. Could cut him out, but he can just either be covered over or however. Or I could do something around instead. We'll see. Now it looks like this might be starting to settle down a bit. It's hopped in the banana box lid with a blanket in that the cats all seem to like curling up in. So it's right in the lounge room floor, and we've just left it there because they all like to sleep in it. So yeah, cat bed essentially in the middle of the lounge floor. Right, this is some printing I did, and I was experimenting. It's got little bits of double-sided tape with printing on tracing paper, and so I double-sided taped tracing paper to this paper and fed it through the printer, and originally fed it through the wrong way around, so it printed on the paper, not the tracing paper. So I put it back through and it printed on the tracing paper and was not usable. So I cut around it to cut the tracing paper off, threw that away, and I thought, well, I don't need these words on the paper because I've already had done them nicely on another bit of paper. So let's just throw this in my journal as a base. Now, do I actually need to trim that down at all? I may not. Picking cat fur off my sleeve. Oh, a little bit off the height. Okay. And when I cut this off the tracing paper, I did not cut it straight, so it's crooked as. And actually that gets rid of that little bit of sticky from the double-sided tape, so that's actually quite beneficial. Okay, we have another calendar page. The last page is from December 2023, so like it is current actually. I'm going to leave the holes at the top, I think, because they're a bit of fun. Do I want to do flippies on this? Let's do flippies on this. Little flip sides, which we can trim off later if needed or if wanted. If we don't actually end up using them, and I might fold this one back on itself. We could turn it into a pocket. Lots of options. So there we go. We have hopefully, I think, 16 pages here. So let's see how we want to put them together. Let's just start stacking. Oops, take the cover out of there. Let's put one of these colour book pages. Newspaper advertising supplement. Let's go with our index book page. No rhyme or reason, I'm just kind of chucking them together, making sure that there's not two things the same together. pattern paper, and I'm not even worried if anything ends up upside down. Let's go with a bit of wallpaper and one of these Microsoft pages. Scrapbook paper with the flip, and this paper with Andy's off again. He's just equivalent to spring fever, I think, dear puss, and his 14-year-old. Honestly, you think he'd be a bit calmer these days, but still acts like a kitten. And our calendar in the middle. Right, let's make sure it all fits and that I didn't make a mistake in how I... No, it is too tall. I don't know how I did that. Maybe I need to shake it down a bit. No, it's definitely too tall. Which ones are too tall? So definitely the newspaper supplement there is too tall. Oh, I wonder if the bag's too tall. Hope not. That one's too tall. We'll do those two. They're definitely too tall. Don't know how I managed that. It's the greatest of ease. Probably too busy talking or distracted by Puss. I'm going to blame Puss. Because, you know, why not? Hopefully that's adequate. So it's just that brown paper bag might be a bit tall. And yes, it is. Darn it. So choices. And I think I've got, yeah, I didn't allow for the expansion of the signature as it pushes out. So they're actually a bit wide as well. Oh, dearie me. Okay, so we need to trim the paper bag. And we need to trim these sides. So let's do the paper bag first. So it's now going to be open at the top. That's fine. We can live with it. We can handle that. Will it go through all those layers? I think it should. Ooh. There's a few more than layers there. That's where they're glued together. So there's more layers. It doesn't want to go through it. And glue as well, where the seam is. So my query now, oops, we've got a bit of excess in there. Let's take that out. That's good collage paper. Now that we've got it open on the end and the top, kind of wondering whether we actually, because that's essentially 2 pages if we cut it, or whether I just leave it like that and deal with it. Do we need to trim the side off is the other thing. If we need to trim the side off, then we might as well just go with it as a page. Might be okay. If I put it closer to the outside, it's not going to stick out as far. And we need to go around this way actually. It all goes that way. So yes, we do need to do quite a bit of trimming because this will not wrap. I could score it and make it like, yeah, I think I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to leave the pages as is, and I'm just going to add some more score lines in, because if it wraps around a little less, it doesn't matter, does it? And that will save me fiddling around trying to chop all those pages. So I've already got 2 scores here to create a little bit of a spine where it wraps. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some more. until it's how we want it. So I think this was a 1/8 of an inch, I think. Yeah, an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch for the next one. Whoops, I'm not following the line at all. Let's try and get in that groove so our score line is straight as we can, because I don't need to do them all at that small 1/8 of an inch. I don't think we need a bit of a bigger space there. So let's fold that one. It's a bit tricky to fold with those other score lines. I think this is the easiest, quickest solution. Alright, so let's give that a try, see whether it's enough. Bearing in mind we also need to allow growth. And I think I've got actually way too many pages in here for what I'll end up using, but oops. So that is good as it is, but if we grow, it's not going to be any good. It's still going to be too narrow. So what I'm going to do is, from that score line I just did, I'm going to score at an 1/8 of an inch out from that, and then another 1/8 of an inch out from that. So like I've got this 1/8 of an inch here, I'm going to put, actually, do I need to just go out an 1/8 of an inch? Or, okay, because technically if I just put out from an 1/8 of an inch, I don't think it's going to be enough. Maybe I just need to do another 1/4 of an inch. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to work this out as I do, so it's definitely not a tutorial, it's just me trying to problem solve as I go. So hopefully it's making sense or useful or entertaining. If nothing else, let it be entertaining. So what are you filling your time? Have you got time off after Christmas, in between Christmas and New Year? Hubby's back to work today. I'm recording this Wednesday, so he's back. So Christmas was Monday, Boxing Day was Tuesday, Wednesday he's back to work. He works today and tomorrow, and then he's got Friday off right through to the following Wednesday. So we'll have 5 days off together over New Year's, which will be lovely. So I floated the idea that one of those days we go for a picnic to a place called Mutnow Beach, where there's fossils and there's a tidal river mouth, and there's like lots of birds, and just, you know, relax by the sea. If it's a hot day, maybe we can swim in the river. There's a lot of boats too, so you have to be careful because they go fishing out of there. So you do have to watch the boats, because if they're not watching for you, you could get run over. I don't think it's happened, but you know, the potential is there. And then if you swim across the river mouth to the other side, then there's a big rocky shingle beach where there's more fossils and birds and stuff. And I haven't actually been across there. I would like to, and I think my mobility would actually allow me to do that now. So hopefully we can get a nice warm day where we can swim in the river and have some fun. Right, that's good. I'm happy with that now. So let's grab out my clips and sew this together. Oh, bring it closer to me so I can actually see inside. Grab out my clips. Another one. And my awl and my needle. And what colour string do I want? Thinking blue. Let's just go blue. It's colourful. This is very eclectic. It's very junky, so I think the blue would be quite cool. And it's the harder one to use. You know, it doesn't match a lot of. So these pages actually stick out past this cover. But because this wraps around, it's fine. I can live with it. I don't think it's a problem. I can always go on with scissors and trim it down a bit if it really starts to bug me. But this is supposed to be, in essence, a true junk journal. So, I mean, it's made with an old envelope. It's made with scraps of wrapping paper. And now it's got various papers in that are just essentially no use for anything else. So I'm going for imperfect. I'm trying to embrace the imperfect and make this as junky as I can, which is quite challenging for me. I like finessed, I guess. Right, so just here we go. Centre-ish down into my foam bit of packaging here, which is my favourite thing to poke down into. And then let's go about there, bottom hole, and oops, and about here. It's all very approximate, which is normally what I would do. I don't measure when I'm just doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I just go for it, unless I'm doing multiple signatures, which actually I haven't done for many, many moons. It's been a long time since I've done a multi-signature journal. Maybe I should aim to do one this year. Not this year, in 2024. Maybe I should revisit that and do a 2 or 3 signature. I don't know. Do you want to see that? Would you like to see a bigger journal? Could do it. Could do one with like the Junk Journal Studios kits, because they're really big kits. So do one with one of hers would be quite fun. Right, so in through the middle and in the top or bottom, doesn't matter, and back through the middle. Just, this is a very quick run through. I'm not doing it as a tutorial. I have lots of videos where I do this. And then in the bottom, pull the end through and loop it under the top one. And pull it tight. So your string should be on either side. Pull it tight. Probably pulling on my holes a bit much, but it's a junk journal. Doesn't matter. If it falls apart, I'll just staple it together or restring it or something. It doesn't matter. Or put tape on it to reinforce it. I'm actually doing 3 knots. I don't know why. I just am. I typically do 2. And I'm just going to trim this off a little bit so it sits inside the cover, but if anything happens, I've got room to maybe get it undone or something, or tighten it. Right. Take our clips off. Put my needle away before I lose it on the floor for one of the cats to find. That would not be nice. And there we have a little junk journal ready to go for January. So within the art journal style that I think I'm going to do, so using the prompts obviously, I'm not sure whether I'm going to incorporate like daily journaling as well, like just keep it simple with some highlights of the day. I'm thinking that might be where I go, rather than doing the full-on spread for my day and capturing all the little bits. I'm thinking maybe simplifying, in one sense, simplifying the writing and doing more of the decorative. Yeah, I just think I need to refresh myself, but I don't want to stop altogether, because I've been there, done that so many times where I've started journaling and stopped, and I want to maintain it. I want to keep going. But I do need, I think, to switch it up a little bit. Re-enthuse myself so that I can do the long haul. So there we go. There is my journal. What do you think? I think it's really cute. I actually love the smaller format. I love the flip. It's kind of like, oh, you know, open it up. I might do like an eyelet in there and do a tie. Shall we do that? I haven't got anything to tie it, I don't think. But let's do it. How are we going on time? Yeah, we got heaps of time. It'll be a shorter video, that's fine. But let's put an eyelet in. And maybe I just use string. I've got string to hand. Maybe we just do string. So I'll go with black because it's my ones with washes. And just do a simple little closure. It's only one. You've got to watch you only grab one of these because they're so thin. Right. Ah, that's right. We've got this pocket here. I think we can still do it. Yeah, we can still do an eyelet. I'll just have to be careful where I put it because I don't want to close the envelope. Oops, no, you punch the hole first, dear. So there should work okay. Eyelet in, washer in, and make sure it sits under my flap so it doesn't clamp it closed. And you can just slide this inside the envelope to do the, there we go. Yeah, so it just sits in slightly in the pocket, so that worked well enough. Yeah, I wasn't worried if it wasn't dead centre. It's trashy, remember? So the eyelet is not trashy, is it? But however, it's practical. Some things just need to be practical. Right, and I'm thinking I've got this white cord here, which when I bought it, it was supposed to be waxed cord, and it's not waxed. So, and it's thicker than, I'm sure it's thicker than what I ordered. So it doesn't, like for sewing a signature in, it doesn't hold. It tends to come undone. So I don't like using it. So for things like this, it actually becomes perfect because I can, you know, it doesn't need to hold the knot permanently. Now, how do I want to do this? Do I just want to tie it through there? Single string and then wrap it? Or do I want to double it? Not sure. Eek! Maybe I should have thought about this, but let's see what it would be like if I doubled it over and put that through the loop without tangling myself in knots. Did that and then wrap it round. Yeah, let's go with that. So I'll need to readjust it. Give myself a good length, I think. So I haven't got that in half properly. So let's take it out for a moment. Make sure it's in half. Just pull it through that loop. And then it can just wrap around something like that. Good enough. Good enough for a trashy little junk journal, don't you think? I think this is going to be fun to work in. I'm looking forward to January now. I need to find the prompts again, print them off and make sure I'm all ready to go because January is going to be here before we know it. Let me know if you intend on doing Junk Journal January with Meg Journals. I believe there are other people who do it or put out prompts, but I go with Meg Journals because that's the one I typically go with. So I think I'll do that again this year. So let me know if you plan on participate. Do a little, a lot, the whole thing. I typically don't do the whole month, but let's see how we go. If I'm incorporating my daily journal within it, maybe I might succeed. Who knows? Stay tuned and we'll find out together. Okay guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you're having a wonderful time today, whatever you are doing, whether you're working, holidaying, relaxing, or just chilling out at home. It's all good. All my love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.